I'm the best actor at my age, bro. Amitabh Bachchan ने मुझे गले लगाया है, इन्होंने मेरे लिए तालियां बजवाई हैं. For some stupid reason, I thought I could do acting. I went to New York. I was there for a year and a half, did my training there, and then came back thinking that there'll be a red carpet for me. I got a headshot done, which was 8x10 pictures, which is what used to happen in New York. Yeah. I used to circulate that and realize that it's thrown in the trash can. And I have this memory of on the third day the posters being pulled down. I had given 3 years to that film. मुझे गहराइयाँ ज़्यादा पसंद है. I mean, every time I felt like this is the end, I can't bear it anymore, and something will just drop in, make me sail for the next 6 months. I remember reading the script and not sleeping for nights, saying, is this what I'm supposed to do, and how will I say this to Mr. Bachchan? If I have to really be inspired by one individual in the industry, it's Priyanka Chopra. अपनी जिम्मेदारियों को ताक पर रखकर अपने सपने मत जियो.
Welcome to Humans of Bombay, and so lovely to have you.
My absolute pleasure.
How are you feeling, especially after everything that we were discussing offline? How is your mindset?
Mindset would be New Year.
New Year.
So ideally not new me, because I wouldn't have become new in 3 days.
Yeah. How do you feel about work and everything that's happened last year, especially with Bambai, Meri, Jaan?
I think last year has been, in a way, because I also include Khaki in that whole, because
in the
it
mix.
was almost end of the year. And, so Khaki, Bombay, Meri Jaan, Kala, 3 tentpole shows, 3 big platforms. I think it's a dream for an actor. And so 2023 was pretty good professionally. 24 seems to be better.
Yeah.
So
already.
Yeah, I know there are a couple of releases lined up already, and probably a third one also. So
wow.
3 releases every year should be a good way to go. Yeah.
I have a very interesting question to ask you. What is it about engineers? So many people have come and sat here, all been engineers at one point, and then just been like, not for me, and done very great things in their life. So, but it's a crop of engineering. So what is it about engineering?
I think it's a mindset.
Yeah.
It's actually the mindset of, like I feel any science student, the whole idea, you get ingrained to be an observer because you do experiments, you do aim, objective, procedure, observation, conclusion.
Yeah.
And when you're able to set that for life, things become very, very easy. Yeah. So you become analytical about things, and because as an engineer, that's one part of profession. But if you ask yourself a question of what do you really want to do, which is what the question came to my head, which was at that point I was very good at, I'd fallen in love with physics because I found a teacher who would connect physics and philosophy and teach me like that quite early, around 11th, 12th standard. And I just fell in love with it. I thought that this is what I want to do, and I thought कि अच्छा physics पढ़ना है तो अब क्या करूँगा? Oh, doctorate कर सकता हूँ physics में. Only to realize कि मुझे पैसे भी कमाने हैं. And I have this very clear, vivid memory that my mom was cutting vegetables and I was sitting right next to her, and there was this India Today ka magazine where the cover page said they had the package for the IITians. And I said, this is what I want to do, because back in 2003-04, they were getting a annual salary of 1 crore. And I said, this is probably where I can make money because I'm a science student and this is what I would want to do. And took up engineering. And I kept asking, do I really want to do this? Because I was staying in a hostel in my engineering days. And I think probably away from my sheltered home, you get a chance to have an introspection within. And for some stupid reason, I thought I could do acting. I have no understanding yet. I keep saying this all the time. I have no clue where that thought occurred to me. And the beauty is it occurred to me as that I'm good at this, having never done it.
How?
I wish I knew. My only understanding was, school plays and,
the basics.
The basics. I would always be participating in stuff and decent student. So it was all of it together. But yeah, I think it was just that. Just the fact that at that point I felt that, oh, ये लोग तो glycerin लगा के रोते हैं, मैं ऐसे रो सकता हूँ. It was as stupid as that.
Yeah.
But then I decided if I'm quitting engineering, I would rather start training myself for acting. So I did 2 years of theatre, and I started training myself in Delhi with Mr. Barry John. Then I went to New York. I was there for a year and a half, did my training there for film acting. And then came back thinking that there'll be a red carpet for me.
Waiting.
But it's been a long wait. It's been a long, long wait.
How were your parents when you told them that you're going the other way from engineering to acting, which seems like a Indian parent's nightmare?
Yeah, also I conventionally I come from Bihar, from a very conventional family. My father are 3 brothers and they have 8 daughters amongst them, and I'm the only son. So growing up, I was constantly brought up with the idea that I would be responsible for my sisters, you know how it is.
All 8 sisters.
All 8 sisters. Okay. And because we were joint family in a way. And this idea that I want to be an actor is absolutely not safe, you know, as a profession. You don't know how it's going to be. But I took it on. So obviously they were not very keen on it. But I think once I decided to jump in, I couldn't have had more support. That way I've been really blessed that my parents, after the initial no's, they completely held me together throughout this whole period.
Yeah.
So I've been blessed that way.
How are you so sure? Because, you know, you said once you decided. And so many people struggle with the decision, right? Like, what is it that I really want? What is my purpose? What am I meant to do? Most people go through lifetimes not having answered those questions. Is there anything that you did to arrive at this answer?
I think I should probably acknowledge something within, which is the fact that I always felt that I'm capable enough to do good for myself. That I will eventually be able to make something out of my life is a constant feeling that I lived with. Now, where did that come from? Probably my conditioning, the way I was brought up, the kind of experience I had in my school, where no matter what, I didn't really have to work very hard to be good in my school. You know, how do I explain that? And maybe that kind of creates a feeling that you can do good in life. And till that point, life wasn't that difficult for me. It would just, anything that I would want would kind of happen for me. Maybe that was the feeling that I started off with. Also, I remember those days, there were a lot of television channels opening up. There was a certain boom as far as television is concerned. So I definitely saw a lot of opportunities opening up, which meant that I would be able to do something. Survival would not be an issue, is where it came down to. So if I have to do engineering, which at that point was still just a profession for me, that you would earn bread and butter out of. I wasn't thinking of making something as an engineer, right? I was just thinking of doing a job and being able to earn bread and butter. And I thought, if that is what I want to do, I'll be able to do it here too. Now that belief, I don't know.
Just came.
It was there inherently. It's still there. And probably, which way I'm saying, I started off acting in 2003. My first film released in 2018.
Wow.
15 years. And I don't know many people in my industry to have lasted that long. But I think it is this inherent belief that I will make it that kept me going on. I have no other reason to explain.
Was it a difficult decision to drop out?
It was. I think just to be able to see that you're hurting people in a family, because they were all hurt of the fact that I'm letting this go and taking this on. And it was a huge risk. I used to be a fat boy. I used to be not much lesser now, but still at that point I was close to 100 kgs. Didn't look like, the moment you would say actor and everyone thinks of a Hrithik Roshan, you know, or Shah Rukh Khan, and I never fit that part for them. So in their heads they were like, "Tu kya acting karega? Kaise?" And to be able to convince all of them, to make them believe in me, I never wanted to be a rebel. I don't know how else to say it. I wanted to take everyone together. And it takes longer that way. It takes more effort that way. But it's more fulfilling at the end. So I stayed with that. I said, I won't rebel. I will prove it to you that I'm capable of it. And I will do the hard work to be able to show it to you and earn you guys with me. And thankfully today I can say I did that. So it's more fulfilling.
How was the period once you came back? You mentioned it's been a long wait. How was it at that point? What was going on in your mind in terms of to wait it out, to endure, to have patience? Because it's a game of patience.
It is. It is. So
which people struggle with.
My constant voice or the voice that was running in my head was, see, you find ways to keep yourself going, right? You find ways to inspire and motivate yourself. And sometimes when you bog down, I remember coming here not knowing anything. I'd gone to New York where at that point there were headshots.
Yeah.
I'd done a lot of short films, so I remember making a show reel for myself. And when I came back to Bombay, they still had portfolios where we were standing, an actor would stand in 5 different looks and avatars, some standing with gun, knife, and all of that. And those pictures were being circulated around. And I didn't have them. I never got a portfolio done because I got a headshot done, which was 8x10 pictures, which is what used to happen in New York.
Yeah.
And I used to circulate that and realize that it's thrown in the trash can, because all the pictures, you walk into any office, there would be a dustbin where all the pictures are thrown in because they can't keep those pictures, right? There's so many people walking in every day.
Yeah.
You also need to understand their issues. I cannot be only connecting to my problems कि मैं आया हूँ इतने मन से देने के लिए. वो अगर आप उनकी जगह रहते तो आप क्या करते? So I realized this is not gonna work. So I used to carry my DVD at that point of time. Now again, DVDs they are not watching, so I would carry my laptop. I would sit down with them. I would say, sir, इसमें दिख जाएगा मैं कैसा दिखता हूँ और काम कैसा करता हूँ वो भी दिख जाएगा. And my only hope was कि if they see it, they'll probably call me back. So that was one route that I started taking. I said, I will show you my work, and at the same time, hoping that you'll get a call back. But it went through a lot of ups and downs. I thankfully met Mr. Lake Tandon. I don't know if you know of him. He's no more now, but one of the veteran filmmakers. And he gave me an opportunity to work for DD National. I didn't want to do television with the mindset that I'd come back. But I also felt that DD National is something not many people watch. It's more in the interiors of India. Bombay no one watches, so I'll still maintain my novelty.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you'll still be able to earn your bread and butter. And I thought this is a genius plan. If it works out, and today I can say it was, because when you walk in 2018, you're still a debutant for the world, right? But you have 15 years of work experience doing stuff that people didn't see.
Right.
So you walk in as a new guy, but having that experience, it can only be beneficial for you.
Yeah.
So I had that earned privilege of 15 years of experience. And all throughout this, the only thing that kept me going was, Avinash, you have the endurance. You might not have the strength that somebody else has. You might not have the speed that somebody else has. But you have the endurance that probably the others don't. So I'll be the last man standing. That was a constant voice going in my head. And then I also said that I'm the best actor in my age in this city. That's something that would keep me going on. Just this thought to myself that I am the best at this age in the city. I just made that age because it also ensures that you...
It's a niche.
It's a niche.
Yeah.
And I'm best there at least.
Yeah.
And I said, if you need that, I'll be here. I'll be the best one to do it. So these two thoughts actually just kept me going. I don't think anything more. Just this belief that I will make it happen. You're the best out there. और तेरे इतना कोई टिक ही नहीं सकता. तो if it's long enough, if it's long enough, I'm gonna make it anyways. बाकी कोई बचेगा नहीं बचेगा मुझे नहीं पता. So I think 15 साल हो गए और 20 साल ऐसे निकल जाएंगे आगे के.
Is there any time where you felt like giving up, that you wavered in your belief system, or everybody has bad days, everybody has a bad phase, everybody has a bad cycle. Was there one during these times?
I had a few times that I thought of I will quit. Quit as in I would take up not acting, but I would do other stuff that I've been saying no to. So my basis of my career has been saying no, and I was a great believer in choice. I would always say that what you say no to shapes up your character, shapes up your life. Because we all end up saying yes to most things in our life, but what you say no to will differentiate you from what I say no to, and that became a real core to work as well. I had very clear idea that the job that I do needs to either pay me enough that it takes care of my entire year, or gives me such creative satisfaction that, you know, even if there's no money, there's nothing else, I would do it, or ensure that this work will lead to the work that I want to do. If it suffices any of this criteria, I would work. If not, there's no reason for me to go and work. I don't have to get up in the morning and say नहीं मुझे करना है, मुझे एवरेस्ट पे झंडे गाड़ने का शौक नहीं आया, you know, like नहीं है. So if there are these reasons fulfilled, I shall go and work. And the only thing that happens when you put these foundations also, Mumbai is an expensive city.
Yeah.
And it can, and not that I come from generational wealth.
Yeah.
It can make you start feeling a little less about yourself. That are you doing enough? Because this profession is supposed to make you money. And if you're not doing well enough, forget about others asking question. You should first stand up and ask yourself this question. So I have given those thoughts to it, and every time monetarily it would be really difficult to hang in. But by God's grace, every time I felt that this is the end now, I can't, something will just drop into my hands and make me sail through it. So there is some grace of God too. I can't deny that. But yeah, I mean, every time I felt like this is the end, I can't bear it anymore, and something will just drop in, make me sail for the next 6 months, and then we'll have the fight again. So yeah, it's been that kind of a life.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to change much.
I'm sure it'll change. It has changed.
I mean, it's just that I think what really happens is you just become smarter and tolerant and more proficient in dealing with these situations. Earlier you would panic on it, and now you know you've been through it few times. You know that
it's fine.
It's fine. You'll find a way out. So yeah, it's much easier now because you have grown. The problems haven't changed. They would keep coming in their own ways every day. So yeah, I think that is what has really changed for me right now.
When do you think it changed in the good way, where you were like, okay, finally there's work, and there's work that I'm excited about, and I'm going to get my due?
I think it's been in phases for me. Like I remember 2013 is when I got a chance to work on a show called Yudh, which was being directed by Anurag Kashyap, and it was with Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. I'm playing the main antagonist, and I was about 10 years younger to what I am today. So I was very new to this field. To get a chance to be with Mr. Amitabh Bachchan one-on-one and be directed by Anurag Kashyap, it's a great opportunity. For me at that point, I thought this is going to change my world. You know, I remember reading the script and not sleeping for nights, saying, is this what I'm supposed to do? And how will I say this to Mr. Bachchan? You know, all those thoughts would come to me. And I remember that when the show launched, there was no one to watch it. It just did not take off from what we expected it to. And but what it did for me was the fact that I could stand with Mr. Bachchan. I think people who saw it from the industry felt that इसमें भी talent होगा तभी तो खड़ा किया उनके साथ. So at least it became a mark of saying, okay, he is probably talented, and at least people were willing to give you more opportunities to try you out. So I would want to acknowledge it that it probably did shift that for me. At least people started looking, in the industry, started looking at me differently.
A validation of sorts.
A kind of. But it was very, like, even if it came from 5 people at that point of time, it meant a lot because there was not even one looking at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then I got an opportunity like Laila Majnu, where there's an Imtiaz Ali, there is an Ekta Kapoor producing the film. They're all coming together. We're making Laila Majnu, which is such a huge folklore in our country. And I have this memory of on the 3rd day, the posters being pulled down. I had given 3 years to that film. And I just didn't know how to react to. How should I take this after 50 years of my, when you said that, oh, now this bad phase, bad cycle
Yeah.
will end.
Yeah.
To saying that, okay, after 3 years of hard work with these people together, the film disappeared on the third day. So what else will I say to myself? There was no end to this, which was going on. But if you look at it, all that I have today is because of the credibility that I started earning from Laila Majnu.
Yeah.
So whatever you do, it's learning that whatever you do, all the effort that has been put in may probably not give it to you what you want then. But if you long enough, that's the whole game. It's if you stay long enough, it will start translating into something bigger than what you thought. I think if Laila Majnu had become a huge hit at that point of time, it still wouldn't have the relevance that it has today, 5 years down the line. And it's only because it grew slowly and it got deeper than getting the heights. And मुझे गहराइयाँ ज़्यादा पसंद है. So probably this is what my life is and how my journey is going to be.
Yeah. It's about depth, not width.
Well, it's if you can get both of them, which is
That's
what I'm
great.
aiming for.
Yeah.
And which is why my aim is to work on the variety and versatility and just like a joke. Okay, so I'll say in last 5 years, love story, I think Laila Majnu would make one of the finer films in this country. Say gangster genre, Mumbai Meri Jaan would be one of the finer film shows around. Say fantasy, Bulbul would be one of the finer films. So you pick on genres, and if you are over a period of time creating films, shows which are one of the finest in those genres for long enough, you have created the width.
Yeah.
And the love will take you deep. So that's the idea, hoping that it works out.
It's a great way to look at it.
और करने के लिए बचा क्या है और तरीका क्या है.
So how was your interaction finally with Mr. Bachchan?
Mhm.
On the first day of set or on your first cut, how was it?
I still remember the first time, like the whole crew wakes up when Mr. Bachchan is on set. Okay.
Yeah.
We've all come in, हम लोग अपना काम कर रहे हैं. Sarag. So in my head, I was prepping कि Avinash, you should not be awed by him. You keep talking this to yourself. I used to watch Muhammad Ali videos just to keep myself motivated so that, I'm the best. So that I don't get intimidated by him. I very clearly remember that I was sitting, I think make was happening and someone says Mr. Bachchan has arrived. Everyone just stood up. Okay. So I also, and I'm like, no, Avinash, it's okay. He's an actor. I should look at him as an actor and not Amitabh Bachchan. And, cut to I see he's sitting 2:00 afternoon on his 4 chairs, sitting wearing a 3-piece suit and nicely sitting, baking in the sun. And we are in the mall, sitting in the shadows because it was really hot. But now if he's sitting in the sun, we can't be sitting here. So we also moved into the sun. And I'm like, sir, क्यों धूप में बैठे हैं और हमें भी धूप में बैठना पड़ रहा है. We didn't talk much at that point of time. He was speaking to the other co-actors. I didn't speak to him much. And we started doing the scene. I had a 7-minute monologue and I was really shivering. I remember going for it. I think nailed the monologue very honestly. Did very well. The moment it ended, this man made the entire crew clap for me.
Wow.
Came and hugged me. And for me, I was like, Amitabh Bachchan ने मुझे गले लगाया है, इन्होंने मेरे लिए तालियां बजवाई हैं. I'm the best actor at my age, bro. So, but yeah, those validations, just imagine that 10 years back, if I got that, it would have benefited my confidence so much. It did wonders to make me feel that I could stand in front of anyone in the industry. If I stood with Mr. Bachchan and done whatever I had to, the idea of intimidation and being awed by anyone in the industry suddenly disappeared. Our interactions have been very fun. Like, he would talk about how he got the injury. So he once came to me and said, मेरा हाथ जल गया. So I said, कहाँ sir, क्या हुआ? I said, नहीं, like, you know, giving that look, तुम्हें नहीं पता types कि इनकलाब में मैं you know, he used to hide his hands in his shirt, or sharabi, he's done that. Like मैं ऐसे हाथ रखता था, तुम लोग इसे style बोलते हो, हाय, you know, and like he also acknowledges this, that it is something that you see in the guy and not something that he creates. It's a great learning for an actor, that everyone, that I might feel I've done something and people look at you for that. Like all the love that I'm getting for Kes is not for me. It is for Kes. And that distinction is very important, which for him, being the Shenshaw of this industry, had that distinction at that age. Something to learn from. Yeah.
And what's the best appreciation you've received after?
After that?
Yeah, after that. Has anything lived up?
There are two of them actually. But the most I will talk about, the one that really made a huge difference to me was post Laila Majnu. The film released and I had an accident. For some reason I was on bed for a month. And so 3 दिन में film उतर गई, I'm really broken, and then within 10 days I had an accident. So I was like, this is not ending for me, bro. This it's just going on. And I remember my dad coming to me. He lied down next to me and he said, मुझे पता नहीं कि कल क्या होगा, what future holds, but of what I've seen in the film, I can definitely say कि मेरा बेटा नकारा नहीं. Okay, because it took 15 years, and it's also realized it's them who have to answer the world more than I have to. You know, क्या कर रहा है आपका बेटा? कहीं दिखता तो है नहीं, ठीक है? So they are the ones who are figuring this out. And when he came and said this to me, it made a huge amount of difference. Probably a validation that every son looks from his father. And I think within 5 days I was ready again. Like, chalo, next film, Bulbul, let's go. So it made a huge difference because it was really low at that point. So for me, that compliment will always stay up there. Yeah.
And how has life changed after Bombay, Meri, Jaan?
Yeah, I don't. Has it? The fact that I'm sitting here with you, probably, you know, see if there is a change to it. If I'd not done Mumbai, probably I wouldn't be here.
That's not true.
I'm just saying, maybe that's how I should look at it. I don't know what else has changed. This been, see, you know, last couple of years I can say that professionally I am on a upgrade, and there is an uptrend. The graph is going up, and it is gonna get better from here on. So I can't say it's only after Bombay Meri Jaan, because I know it's been, in Bombay Meri Jaan I started 4 years back. Things has already started moving for me in that way. But what it has also given me is the fact that today we are ready and people can think of me to create content that can break a ceiling in the world.
You've seen this circuit from very up close, right? Like, you've been part of it for very many years. How has it evolved over time? I mean, of course, OTT has been the biggest revelation in the past couple of years. But overall, how do you think the film industry has moved?
I think, see, it's always been a market-driven industry. Okay, certain kind of stories worked earlier. You can actually see the shift from the single-screen theaters to multiplexes. You saw how the cinema started changing for it, right? Yeah. And now you see OTT coming in. Now it's the platforms making the change, not the creators. The creators are providing for the platforms. That's how I look at it. It's not the creators have started shifting, creating content which was not happening earlier. Now there's a platform for this. There is a huge amount of demand for it. So there's a lot of content being created. And because there's a lot of content being created, there'll be a lot more work for actors and writers and technicians. So there's a huge flourish of in the industry as far as job opportunities are concerned. But the basics of it still remains the same. I don't see that shifting.
So who do you look forward? Who do you think is one of those talented actors, actresses on the OTT space, on any circuit really?
I think if I have to really, I give this the thought that if I have to really be inspired by one individual, in the industry. It's Priyanka Chopra.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask myself why. So I remember there was a point when she was on the US billboards, and at the same time she had Ganga Jal 2, which is a story based in Bihar. Now, to be able to have that kind of range and reach from Bihar to New York at the same given time is something that every artist should envy. To be able to go there from absolutely a non-entity as far as the US market is concerned, and to go and create something for yourself out there, having established yourself here, is something again to look forward to, that how you scale yourself up there. The way she has dealt with all ups and downs in her career, I think it's a very good role model for everyone in our country and in fact around the world. So if I have to really choose one person that I'll be very, very inspired by, that is Priyanka Chopra. As an actor, we have a lot of people that I really look up to. In present times, I would say Manoj Bajpayee and KK Menon are just playing at a different level.
Yeah.
None of the actors, no matter what we say, none of us are even like, we had long way to go to be even able to come to where they are right now. I'm very, very inspired by them. I think I also need to acknowledge the younger actors and the work that they are doing. I think Vikrant, Vijay, they're doing fantastic job. What I saw of Siddhant Gupta in Jubilee was fantastic. I think these guys are doing some interesting work.
What about your personal life in these 15 years? How have your relationships evolved, whether friends, family? It couldn't have been easy, like you were mentioning. Also, how did your outlook on equality, right, shift? Because in the beginning you said that you had this pressure that I have to take care of my 8 sisters, and then turn to being like, oh, actually they can take care of me.
Yeah.
So how did those relationships evolve? How did the personal life evolve over time?
I think one blessing that I had was being the fact that I was surrounded by 8 sisters, right? So if you're in a room, you hear all kinds of conversations, sometimes saying, please, I'm your brother, don't have this conversation in front of me. But they wouldn't care a damn.
Yeah.
Because 4 of them are elder to me and 4 of them are younger to me.
You're uniquely placed right in the
I'm
middle.
right in the middle.
Okay.
And the elder ones really treat me like the baby, and the younger ones don't give a damn about me. Right? So that's the equation. I remember in school, we would, if I have to say, go out at 10 o'clock in the night. My sister is younger, my sibling is younger to me, 5 years younger to me, and she was staying at home. And if I'm going at 10, my father would say, if you go out, she's going to ask me to send her at 10 too. So I would have no reasons to not send her. And I'm like, this is unfair. Because everyone out is going, and why am I not supposed to? So I always felt that there was a reverse sexism that happened with me. This is my story at my house. I'm like, ye sab aap logo ka, this is a matriarchal family. This is not, we are talking about patriarchy here. This is not.
How refreshing to have a matriarchal family.
Which is why I want to make that shift too. We need to come down to when we say equality, which is equal opportunities. And that's my only understanding of it. And I had this 15 years of struggle where my sister would go out working with my father, and I would be home with my mom. And while leaving, she would say, well, the men of the house are going for work, all in good fun.
Yeah.
So I've been in that space, and I'm thankful to my parents and the family that we were brought up like that, where equal opportunities were always catered to.
How were your parents' family reaction to the last 3 years of your career?
I think with time now that my dad has retired, so just 4 years back he retired. So there was this sense of insecurity or of certain nervousness, jittery that he was, knowing that now he's retired. Is the career going to take off for my son? I think that has settled down a little.
Yeah.
I think he's become a little more relaxed. And because he has become a little more relaxed, mom was always chill. She was someone who believed कि मेरा बेटा कुछ तो करेगी.
So sweet.
Thankfully, I always had that from her. But because he relaxes, obviously she was more relaxed now. So I sense that between from the family, and I think that's the biggest joy that I can have for now. And again, like I said, for me, I was living my dream, and I say this often: do not leave your dreams, putting your responsibilities at stake. Because this is go and live your dreams, do what you want to. Yes, but अपनी जिम्मेदारियों को ताक पर रखकर अपने सपने मत जियो. अपने सपने जियो, अपनी जिम्मेदारियों को पूरा करके जियो. If you can do it, that for me is what I mean, पुरुषार्थ अगर हम कहें, जिसे फिर वापस masculinity और femininity में convert कर दिया
Yeah,
जाएगा.
we're going into a whole.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
You get the conversation gets into it, but when I say it's what you would want to do. If I am someone who goes out and fetches food, then I want to bring it and want to see everyone enjoying it.
Right.
It's not just me having done that. So when you see that, it creates a great sense of fulfillment. And for me right now, it's very fulfilling that I'm able to live the life that I want to, live the dreams that I want to, and at the same time create this kind of space for all of them who are around me, for the family who stood by me. So that for me is a bigger achievement than any of it. If I had done all of this and they were still not there, it would not mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I will probably justify it to myself because they did not stand with me. Hence, I've gone. I can do all of that. But deep down,
You need people to go with you.
it.
Yeah.
We can deny it to ourselves, but the fact remains.
Yeah. Was it a full circle moment for you when you saw the Bombay Meri Jaan billboards up on Times Square? How was that feeling? Was it a spiritual experience?
बोलते ही मुझे सब कुछ feel हो गया. But that was so this, yaar. It was something really. I mean, I didn't know how to express it. It was just 2005 is when I was in New York. Okay, and I used to wait tables there. And in fact, I was thrown off from a restaurant, so I joined another place where I used to clean the toilets, mop the surface. I used to clean chicken at that point of time, and stuff which at that point was not something I enjoyed. Or in fact, I remember me being told that this job is not for you, and I needed some money, so I said I will do all of this, and I would do that post my course. And I was with a friend walking on Times Square. There was Cold Stone Creamery there, and I remember French vanilla and strawberries is what I had. And we were walking, and I said I couldn't see any Indian film का. So उधर ही EMC भी है. So मैंने दोनों चीज़ कही थी कि इधर देखना मेरी फिल्म लगेगी और यहाँ पे मेरा पोस्टर होगा, होर्डिंग होगा. This 19-year-old boy saying what he felt at that point of time, to really see it happen. I wanted to fly to New York at that point of time. Unfortunately, the visa and everything was so screwed up during this time. But I really wanted to be there. I wanted to see it by myself. And I don't know how to, people talk about manifestation, and it's a word that has really eaten my head now. Because like, motivation को manifestation नहीं बोलते. कि I want to do this is a motivation. You don't, just because I say I'm the best doesn't make me I'm the best. It's a motivation for me. So I don't know if it was manifested or not, but I know for sure that that boy's dream was fulfilled, and it couldn't be without the grace of someone up there.
Like a higher power.
A higher power, if it exists.
It's been a great chat. I'll end with a question. What advice would you give to people who are struggling in any space, whether to make a decision of what to do in life, or whether to make a decision whether to go up to their family and say that actually I want to do this, or who are facing setbacks? What advice would you give?
Do what you're good at professionally. Be deserving of what you desire. Social reward system is messed up. Don't look for it. I think once you're sorted with these three things, put your head down and work. Khatam. Baaki sab hota rahega.
It's simple.
It's as simple as that.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I've enjoyed the chat. I've learned a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I've
glad.
learned a lot. And
glad.
very refreshing conversation. I think that there are a lot of things that haven't been said before.
I'm
And
glad.
it's a new perspective. So thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure. See you.
Done. One take.
Oof.
Yeah.
एक take actor है bro.
Thank you for being the best community, and we'll see you in the next one.